When I was a child, I have fond memories of my parents taking me to my grandma's apartment. It's my grandma on my mother's side here. She was a Polish grandmother, tough as nails. I didn't have a lot of life in common with her, but I always looked forward to going there because I wondered what deliciousness I was going to smell and then be offered, because she was an amazing cook and baker, and she would always have something ready to feast on for me, and most of the time it was delicious sweet bakery. Her butterhorns were out of this world, apple crisp, fresh baked cinnamon bread, punchkis, donuts. It was all warm and it was all delicious, and she would offer it to me when I got there, perhaps knowing that I didn't have a lot of life in common with her, and that it might not be the funnest for a small boy to go to grandma's apartment, but I love feasting on her baked goods, and it was her way of being and enfleshing a hospitable love that created a space for me to feel welcome. Today is July 29th, and on the church's calendar, it's the Feast of Martha, who's known for her hospitable love to Jesus. When Jesus was visiting the house of Martha and Mary, and Martha was busy hosting and providing this hospitality so Jesus could be welcomed there. And we know the story that Jesus criticizes Martha because she's busy doing all of this hospitable loving, and Mary's the one sitting at Jesus' feet just taking in all of the presence of Jesus. But the church has always lifted Martha up as a shining example of hospitable love and an invitation to remind us that we're all invited to live that way, to live lives of hospitable love that create space for others to feel at home and welcomed. And within all of that is an invitation for you and for me to pause and pray today, reflecting on where we experience that gift, those people and those relationships that enflesh that hospitable love that creates space where you and I can feel at home just as we are. And on this Feast of Martha, to give thanks to God for that gift in our lives, but also to pray for the grace to enflesh that gift, just like Martha did, just like my grandma did in her own way, to create spaces where others can feel at home just as they are too. God's peace and blessings to you all.